What's up, baby? Dude, I just want some head. I just want some head. What's up, baby girl? The other day I was riding my bike across the road and I saw a huge bus coming. You know, I feel like I was about to get hit. The bus wasn't stopping, but for some reason I just kept going. Is it okay for me to not fear death this much? Or was it, just in a moment I kind of shut my brain out because I have ADHD? Do I just not care about that shit? I don't know, but after that it got me contemplating, like, do I not fear death that much? I gotta fear death a little bit, right? What the fuck did I not give a shit and continue moving forward even though I saw the bus clearly about to hit me? Should we be paranoid? Should we live anxiously? I don't even know where this is going. But I should be a little bit more afraid of death. Why is it that I just continue cycling? Hi Tumos, baby. In case you don't know, Tumos means like, high spiritedness. It means like passion, it means spirit, like that oomph, shame is shame. A lot of people live their lives hanging their heads low with a lot of shame. They carry a lot of shame. They feel very inferior. They feel not good enough. And they hold a lot of shame in a lot of things they do, and they remind themselves of that shame, almost clinging to it as some sort of crutch, so that they can add some significance to their lives, or maybe add some depth to their character or some sophistication. They hold on to shame. Like, for example, somebody who likes to watch porn, somebody who watches a lot of porn, maybe they're into some tentacle hentai, and they feel incredibly shameful about it. They don't dare to own it, they're wishy and washy. And these are the kinds of people that when you ask, they'll be like, oh, I've been trying to quit porn for a very, very long time, and you should never watch porn. And they have a whole list of reasons why you should not watch porn, and they're very into the no-fap community, maybe. And I think that the more defensive somebody is, the more shameful they are about it. And, we carry the shame around. And a lot of people can weaponize this shame against us, including our parents. Like, they'll make sly remarks about our insufficiencies. They make sly remarks about us, lacking in a certain area, or making a certain stupid decision, making us paranoid, making us overly anxious, and be over obsessed over every single little decision because of shame. And can we really live like this? To what extent? Shame is very good fuel for the short term. A lot of us use shame and leverage it so that we could make a lot of progress in the short term. Oh, I'm not good enough, I'm inferior, I'm terrible at this, I'm such a lowly human being, I'm not doing my parents proud, and I feel incredibly ashamed of myself. But it's very, very destructive. Even though it may be able to help for a little while. Very, very destructive. Because you start to resent things. Because you start to... what happens when that shame goes away? What happens when you make progress? Does that shame continue to stay? And then if it does, when does it go away, right? And it also makes you act out in a very needy manner. You become very, very needy when you're shameful, because technically that shame comes from standards of other people. And when you kind of look at yourself in a third person's perspective, and you're holding on to these thoughts to keep yourself ashamed so that you can continue to fuel yourself. But these thoughts are from the standards of other people. These are from external, these are materialized from external sources. So you're literally, you're letting a shit ton of people stay in your head and point a gun at you while you go about your life. You live shamefully. You become over-optimized. You're afraid to drink, smoke, eat junk food. You're afraid to live. Not that those bad habits mean that you're living or anything like that, but you become very, very, uptight. You become very, very almost overly conscientious. Like when you become ashamed of too many things, you struggle to express yourself, and that can be a very, very big problem. And that could really, really harm your relationships and how you see yourself, your confidence. Shame is pretty damn gay. And fuck it, we gotta remind ourselves, no shame, zero shame. Right after I cycled past that bus, and the bus almost hit me, and it was horning very, very loudly. Everybody was horning. I was like, oh, I'm ashamed of myself. How could I be so careless? My parents would be disappointed in me if they found out about this. How could I be so careless? And then I said, fuck that. Fuck that. I know it sounds irresponsible, which it is. Let's not get it wrong here. I am irresponsible for being so careless with my own well-being. But right after I cycled past, and those thoughts start coming out, oh my god, I started getting anxious. What if people find out about how stupid I was being? What if this happens? What if my parents find out and then they shame me for it? Fuck that. Right after I cycled past, I said, hi Thumos, baby. Hi Thumos, baby. I shouted it out loud. And I was smiling and laughing eventually. Because I'm so tired of living in this perpetual state of shame and paranoia and anxiety that I could be making mistakes, I could be doing it wrongly, I could be, shamed for not being perfect. I could be shamed for being that reckless. Fuck it, we ball. There's this obsession with trying to be sophisticated and intelligent. You have to be intelligent, you have to be structured, you have to plan everything. You have to be organized and meticulous about the way you crawl your way to success, about the way you spend your money, about the way you spend your time, about the way you form your relationships. All these have to be meticulous, calculated. You have to do it smartly. You have to do it while you're conscious. You have to be very careful. You have to be very, very careful. And I'm not sure if that's the right way to go about things. I'm not sure that, what do you value, really? Do you really want to go about life being so paranoid and only focusing on making progress and productivity? Is that really what you want to do? I know it sounds super attractive, the story of, oh, I'm super disciplined and focused and I'm going to get this and get that and everybody's going to look up to me and wish they had what I had, but they didn't put in the work that I did. Nah, man, is it really like that in real life? I think the retard gets the world. The retard inherits the world. The person who doesn't plan, who goes with their instinct, who has judgment that they can trust because they don't have to be paranoid about everything and being so overly careful and anxious. The person who's willing to have fun. The person who is okay with wasting some time with their friends, even if their friends aren't very productive people. Which person is happier, which person is more fulfilled, and which person actually gets more things done. We look at one metric, right? I think one of the biggest guiders or goals of young men, including myself, is to attract a solid long-term partner that we love and respect, and we want that love and romance and connection. And we look around, do we really see all these disciplined, uptight, productivity-centric people getting the relationships they want? Not really, right? We see the ugly, weird guy, kind of stupid, fooling around, who gets the long-term relationships that we desire. And I think it is two separate realms, right? Self-improvement. We think of self-improvement as something like, a lot of people consider it this way. You cut out all the friends who don't contribute to your goals. You stay alone, you grind it out, you focus on the right things, you are very careful about not wasting time, you're very productive, you don't do any bad habits, it's just good habits. Wake up at 5 a.m, meditate, journal, do all the right things, cold shower every single day. That's what we look at self-improvement as. But do we really get better through that period, or do we just get lonelier? And are things really moving forward for us? Like, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you had a period of time where, you've been locked in, you've been getting rid of those shit friends, doing all of the right things, going to the gym 6 times a week, eating the right foods, waking up early, meditating. Perhaps you've done that. But has anything really changed that much? What has really changed? And are we actually happier? Or are we only happy because we've clung on to this vice and this focus of, getting the appropriate things done, getting these tasks done, and just focusing on this disciplined lifestyle, even though nothing's actually getting done, and we're not actually feeling better, but only because we've kind of held on to this lifestyle as a crutch that we are feeling better. That's what I'm really wondering these days. What has self-improvement brought you? Because I think that self-improvement also involves your relationships, also involves, how genuine you are with people, how happy you are around people, how happy you are with yourself. How do you spend your time alone? Do you have anything that you enjoy? How free do you feel? What about those metrics? Do we count those as desirable metrics for self-improvement? Do we go towards them? Now, in the past, I would think that these are all wastes of time. We can relax after we've won, after we've made the money, have the beautiful physique, have everything, then we enjoy. Or enjoy along the way as we build. But right now, we need to be focused. I think we can be focused and enjoy. I think that these things can come hand in hand. And I think that they supplement each other. If you are free, if you have wonderful relationships, but at the same time you're focused and you're kind of happy and fulfilled enough with the hobbies you have, with the people you have around you, that you are willing to have that, that self-esteem that lasts for life. You're just happy with the people around you, with the life you're living, to the point where you have that gusto, you have that energy to seek other things. You have the energy to pour into things you're interested in or things that are considered productive. And you naturally turn to those because you want to provide value for the people around you. You naturally turn to those not out of resentment and bitterness and all these negative emotions you use to fuel yourself, but rather just you approach these productive things with love and with wholesomeness, with spirit. And I wonder if that's the way to go about things, because I've been angry for so long, I've been heartbroken for so long, and leveraging off of that I forgot to see that feeling loved, feeling fulfilled doesn't really make you complacent. It just makes you want to provide more. And you gotta have that energy. You gotta let go of shame. You gotta let go of these kinds of feelings that lead to destructive habits. I think because of shame and anxiety, even though I was able to remain disciplined, I was always fighting against the problem that shame and anxiety was causing me, like overeating, like spending a full day playing video games all of a sudden for no reason, like rumination, being incredibly depressed and burnt out for a long period of time because I got resentful that after pouring in so much discipline and effort, I don't have the relationships I want. I don't have the long-term goal that I desire. I don't have any romance in my life, or I haven't made the money that I want to make, or all of the above. I get incredibly angry, and because I'm so unsatisfied, the cycle starts again. I get burnt out, I get depressed, I ruminate a lot, and then I restart again. Or from that rumination, I get angry, and then I make some progress the next week. But how long does this cycle have to go? And how destructive is it? And how are we really going to live like that? Is that really freeing? This suffering all comes from our fucking head. We're creating it, almost to give ourselves an excuse to rest. Hi Thumos baby. She's screaming at me. Couldn't give a shit. We continue. Where was I? But yeah, these destructive motivators that a lot of people tell you to, leverage off of, that anger and heartbreak can be delicious tools. What happens when you win with them? And what do we even define winning? Are we really going to place money as our end all be all, as our God? Is that the number one thing on the value hierarchy to us? That we make money, that we get so angry that we make money, and then that means we've won. I don't know. What have we really won? Making that money just means that you are, you're a bigger player in somebody else's system, in somebody else's value hierarchy. What do you value? Really? Money, that's it? Full stop. And that's the sole measure of your worth, and the sole measure of how successful you are. Yeah, I never really understood this concept. I always thought it was cope. Like, a lot of people saying success is what you make it. It's not just money, right? It depends what you see success as. I thought that was all a cope. It's all from these people who don't know, who are too lazy to make money and start their own businesses. But as I thought about it more and more, and as I have friends that talk about it, and as I realize how easily people betray their principles, and how easily people put money above everything else, how easily people will sell out other people for money, it feels disgusting. It feels beneath me. I don't want to be part of that shit. I don't want to let my greed guide me. And what am I going to do with all that money? Buy fancy cars? Is that going to buy me that romance that I want? Is that going to buy me the love from my parents? Is that going to buy me love from my friends? I better hope not. Because if those things can be bought just like that, they're really not that valuable in the first place. Because anyone else can buy them. Anyone else with money can buy them over. Then I wouldn't want that shit anyway. So not that money isn't important, but it shouldn't be our guiding principle. And definitely not right. Definitely not. But I'm also afraid that this could all be cope, and getting money and getting the fancy cars and getting incredibly high in social status, incredibly good looking is what would bring me the romance that I seek for, instead of just pure connection. But right now I definitely do think that these are separate realms, and connection is something that you have to deliberately chase, deliberately, risk rejection and put yourself out there. You can't just keep focusing on yourself. You can't just focus on yourself and hope that things come. Because even if they do come, do they come for you, or the things that you've amassed, or your accolades? So we gotta be careful. We gotta be sharp. And we gotta know what we really want. We gotta fool around. We gotta fuck around and find out. We gotta experiment with no shame. Fuck it, no shame, baby. We ball. If anybody tries to make fun of you for not knowing something, for having a weird hobby, all of the above, no shame, we ball. And that doesn't even make them the enemy. We like to make fun of people. If I see somebody, I don't know, if somebody is obsessed with tic-tac-toe, like a champion at tic-tac-toe, I'm gonna think it's fucking weird. What a loser. But if he thinks it's amazing, good for him. As much as I would make fun of him, and as much as I would think it's cringe, good for him, man. High thumos, baby. No shame. He should carry no shame, even though I would try to shame him. But he should be unashamed. He should carry that shit with pride. He should be retarded about it. And we should find things like that we can hold on to with no shame. No shit, people are going to shame us for it. Fuck it, we ball. We are going to shame people for what they do. That's just fun. That's just amazing. That's just human connection. Fucking weeball. So shame is gay. Don't ever take shame personally, and don't hold on to shame. Even if you've done something terrible in your life, fuck it. Let go of the shame. Weeball. Shame makes you provide less for the people around you. Shame nerves you in every way. And if you want to redeem yourself for whatever it is you've done or whatever it is you're ashamed for, you gotta let go of that shame to move forward. You let that shame bog you down, and it's just gonna slow you down. It's just gonna make you perform at like 50% potency. It's gonna affect your relationships, all of the above. We gotta be careful with our obsession of being sophisticated and smart. Where is it really going to take us being meticulous and calculative about every single little thing, and being so optimized that we don't waste any time, and always heading towards our goals and goals and goals and goals? Dude, I think people are what is more important. I think people should take number one priority. And I think they do. It's just maybe you have a vision of how once you attain all the social status, once you attain all the money and all the fame, that's when the people come. That's when the connections come. That's where the validation comes in. But no, man, you gotta have fun. You gotta throw yourself out there. You gotta be free. You gotta freely express yourself and see how that bounces off other people, and see people who care about you, who love you, even though you are weird, even though you wear your heart on your sleeve, even though you show off everything you are, and be as weird as possible without being calculative about it. And then you experience that wonderful feeling of doing the fuck you want, and people are still there for you. And that is a tremendous feeling. I think that outweighs money. I think that outweighs status. I think that is absolutely beautiful. And I think we can't do that if we are so calculative about how we appear. If we hold on to so much shame, so much inferiority, so much low self-esteem, that we are not able to see these people around us, and not able to put ourselves out there further and take that sacrifice, take that risk, to risk rejection, and find out that these people will stay. It's a magical feeling to find out that you can be whoever the fuck you want and people will still accept you. You just gotta let go of shame. I hope I don't fear death. I hope I do fear death. Because how the hell is it that I continued cycling with zero fear when that entire bus was about to hit me, and continued moving forward even though I was cycling past, I'm still on that. Holy shit, am I that fearless? Am I that amazing? I don't know. Should I be? Should I be afraid of death? I feel like I should. There's so many people who care about me, and so many people I care about. Why do I not fear death? God damn it. Yep. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. It's a better word. Mwah.